Alright. Hold on, I gotta get my iPad. Getting my iPad. Just hold on. I'm gonna be there. With my iPad. It's gonna be so good. I got my iPad. Damn it. Running out of power. Gotta plug it in. Alright. Hey! Hello. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. It's called The God Killer. I've made significant progress on it recently. And I'm tired though. Don't worry, I'm not gonna give up or anything. It's nothing like that. Just go through little phases. And just a lot of things going on at the same time, but it's not like a big deal. It's a kind of hefty load of a week at work, and I'm still making progress every day. There's a little number up above me. See if I can get it right. See where my little pencil's pointing? 142. This is the number of days in a row that I have made progress on this game. Not merely applied effort to it or tried, but actually did something that moved it forward. Today will be no exception. Today will be day number 142, and I am beginning this session with the lack of a plan. I just know vaguely I want to do something with faces, and that's dangerous. I don't like to start a session with sort of foggy thoughts about what I'm going to do during that session, but the beginning of the session will be me deciding what I'm going to do in the session. And I brought my iPad up because I can't even remember the notes that I took on this subject of face animation, so I'm looking them up, but they did seem important to me. They seem like that past version of me that had thought them out, knew what he was thinking. So okay, now I kind of remember. Does it work for me to hold up the iPad in such a way that you can... Yeah, I think that works. Okay. So I'm basically just figuring out the parts of the face, how to part them out, how to reference them. So every time you set up some facial animation, it seems like I keep on solving this problem in different ways. I've done it a number of times before. Basically, you can have more expressive rigs for faces that are more expensive to make. So that's where the trade-off is. So let me bring up Photoshop and bring up like some past work. Okay, so this one that I made is a really dead simple rig. Let me bring up the original PSD. Pretty friggin' simple. This is not going in the game, just to warn you right now. The parts that are kind of active or can change are the mouth and the eyes. So I can demo that a little bit. So, the lids. Yeah, lids are... They're in a different layer and they can go up and down, except I just kind of... Whoa, okay, there we go. Well, it's just really hard to see what I'm showing there. Let me blow it up. Oh, way too far. Okay. So we got the lids selected, so the lids are in a layer and I can move them up and down, and that's like opening and closing the eyes. Right. The eyes themselves, let's see, can I move them? Yeah. So there's a separate layer that is the eyes, right? So I think I want those two layers. There's also emotions that characters can have, and that's not expressed here. I've got a more complicated rig that shows that better. On this one, I was really simple. I just made it super cheap. So I've got like some eyebrows that will rotate to get like angry or sad or surprised. The mouth. What did I do with the mouth? I did something with the mouth. It actually. I think it just like got a little bit larger and smaller. Yeah. Anyways, so that's not a very good rig, but it's a cheap one. Like if I have a bunch of characters, I don't have to spend much time creating those rigs because the parts that make you up each face are really simple. So let me come up with a more complex one. Oh, it was right there actually. Here's a more complex one. Okay, so here's Cindy, character I made, Cindy Mathers, and she has visemes that express different sounds that come from the mouth. I follow the Preston Blair viseme chart for this. She has a couple of emotions. She's got neutral and irritated. I didn't build out a whole bunch of emotions with her. I might have only just did neutral, to be honest. I might have just did one emotion for her. Let me see if I can find another one that has some extra emotions. Yeah, I think I just did one for her. Okay. Dropbox. Oh, God, I remember I went through this last time too. The issue is that I archived a whole bunch of it. So let me see if I can find a good basis to begin with from my archive. I do have an archive. I do have one. Is it this? Oh, that's probably no. This is a different device. Pull that guy out. And through my tapes. (2019) archive extra. Oh, meaning like I made one extra copy. Okay. It's hard for me to remember what I originally did. Oh yeah, 2019 archive. So I've got double copies of this stuff. And I can put this tape right here into my little cartridge reader. Bring up the archive. It's a RDX cartridge, which is sort of like a hard drive, but in a cartridge form, so you can pull it in and out of a external reader easily. Okay, here's where all my stuff went. So in the robot hole, I have a ton of rigs from Bettina Throckmorton, an animator that I hired a while back, and one that is actually pretty close to the type of thing that would be appropriate for the character M in this game. She's got that rigged up here. Did she give me a PSD with it too? Alright, so I got all these pieces for this. Okay, now this is the other end of the spectrum, a very full featured rig, or at least by my standards, it's very full featured. By a lot of game standards, it would be too. Not by like a movie. Like if you looked at a TV animation, yeah, if you looked at a whole scale, like how complicated rigs get, it's like movie is typically the most. Then go down to TV, you know, think of like your Rick and Morty, your Family Guy. The rigs there are, now I'm talking out of my ass because a lot of that's just cell animation. I don't know, there's a ton of TV animation that actually uses rigs, and puppet animation it's also called. So those are medium complicated, and then you get down to games. Games typically are somewhere little less than TV complexity in the rigs. We just don't demand as much from them. There's exceptions. There are some games that are plenty complex, some AAA titles. With 2D animation, it's rare for 2D animation to approach what you see in TV for games. I don't mean there can't be little flourishes that look like the same quality, but in terms of creating rigs that are very full featured, you don't see it as much in games. So by game standards, this is a pretty full featured rig for a face. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 emotions. They're represented in both the mouth and eyes. I've got a full Blair Visine on it, and I've got positionable eyes, and I've got multiple frames for the blinking of the eyes. And a lot of those things are repeated per emotion as well. So like Bettina was very thorough, and she made blinks that corresponded with whatever emotion you were in, and not just one, but like 4 blink frames per emotion. So it's like 4 times 11, 44 frames just for blinking, something like that. So yeah, I did like the emotions that oh, kamikaze toy. You always sneak up on me a little bit. I'm just like talking, and then suddenly I see you pop up. But yeah, I'm figuring out my facial animation rigs. What's up with you? So we got this. Let's see if I can bring it in to Photoshop and just kind of like put some pieces together to create some frames. Cool. You can't be coding all the time. Not every single minute. Alright. I'm doing pretty good. I'm like a little bit tired these days, but like just with all the stuff I gotta do outside of this, it's a little bit hard to come and also do this, but it's not like a major thing. Okay, so let me see. If I go with eyes neutral. Let me see. I did so much Scepter already though. Let me do somebody else, somebody new. Mara. That's right, I got these ones going at 3/4. So these ones are all facing off to the side. I need a break from Scepter. I used her in a bunch of projects. So let me see, I can use Mara, who looks really cool, or I can use Kathy. So who am I feeling most like using? No, this is done by Bettina Throckmorton. It's an artist I hired. Uh, let's see, some stuff I did is over here. So again, like this guy here I made. And let's see, some more. Joffrey, my favorite, Cindy. So those are mine, but I'm kind of like thinking I like Bettina's style for this, so just as some stand-in art, I think I'm going to bring in Bettina's. Mine's a little bit more kind of sloppy and cartoony. So, thank you. So yeah, all right, let's go with Mara. First, I'll bring in, I think, eyes neutral and mouth neutral. Close that. I don't get this. It does this every once in a while. It usually does it when I'm streaming. It makes me think there's something with like video memory. Here, let me try it again. You gonna open for me? It's so strange when it does this. Alright, let's quit Photoshop, restart Photoshop. Okay, there we go. Okay, get the eyes. Give myself a little more space here. Got to, I don't know, 500, 500. Okay. Paste that in. Yep. For talking animation and also for different emotions. This is 11 different emotions. Like angry, amused, irritated. Okay, I think there's like an overall head that I want. Head base. That's it. That actually, this makes more sense to bring these over to. So let's bring it over to the base. Go. Oh, why did I do that twice? No. Come on. Come on. There we go. Delete. Okay, this is his mouth. The character is from a different project. Her name is Mara, and yeah, I don't know what to say about her without getting like deep into the story. But let's see, so that. God, where does that go? Oh, that must be over there. Okay. This is that. I didn't know Bettina made all these parts for it. I thought it was simpler than this. Is there a nose? Yeah, let's see. See if you're right. You're probably right. No. No, there's no nose. Not in the layers that are there. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, there we go. There's more. Alright. So then let's take corneas. Oh, no, they're basically the same. Duplicate that. That's, oh, you know what? I might have to take that back. She could have sized these a little more precisely. I bet she did do that. So that was left. And here's the right one. Nope, they're the same. They're the same. They're the same. Okay, so the corneas are the same. I can put them on the same layer. And if I move them together, good enough. Okay. I'm thinking of the parts I want in this, and I want a much simpler rig than what Bettina originally made, because I have to write code that puts all the parts together, and more than that, for every character I add to the game, I've got to duplicate all the parts and how they're chopped up and everything. So I want a simpler rig or hierarchy of parts. So going back to my notes on my iPad, I was going to do faces where each face had kind of everything together except a few things. So instead of a bunch of individual parts, I'd have a face that was mostly together. So I think it's a little bit like, I take the eyes out, you got the eye blanks there, eyes will still go on top. Do I want them to have the nose in there? I don't think so. I think I want the nose to be part of the head base. The mouth, I want there to be like a blank area here where any mouth could be kind of put on top of it. It's much less sophisticated than what Bettina made. So the eyes will change, or yeah. And these, I don't call them corneas, I call them irises. Irises. Okay, so the irises will be apart, eyes will be apart, mouth will be apart, but they'll be not so full featured. It won't be like all this stuff is mouth with the jaw and everything. It'll be just this part here that goes over the top of the base. So that means I need to chop out a few things to arrange this in a way that makes me happy. There's my mouth. Okay, let's merge these two layers. No! That's alright, I just go down here. Okay. Irises, I will merge. Okay. And then part of the eyes, I want to keep separate. I don't want the eyes to be the nose too. Or do I? Does that help me? Is the nose going into the jaw a little? Is this nose here going into the jaw? I'm not sure I understand. But one thing is, this is placeholder art. Even though it's nice and polished, it's not actually made for this project. I'm just figuring out my rigging and the code that would support it. So I figure I might as well use like some kind of good art that I have since I paid for it, and it'll look better than crap. It'll be good for my morale to see like some good art while I'm coding on it, but it'll get replaced. Okay, so I'll cut out the nose from the eyes, paste that back in. Then I'm going to mangle the artwork a little bit in a moment. which is a little bit sad, but necessary for what I need to do. So the nose is going to be part of the head layer. Okay, so the mouth, let me get the edge of it. View, show. Yeah, okay. So let us take away the extra parts of the mouth. Invert that. No, not like that. Selection invert. I thought that's what I did, but nope. Okay, and delete. Okay. So, trying to just make the mouth not coupled to the jaw. So I'll start by just taking off the part that is hiding the nose. Okay, that's fine. And then it looks like okay, I'm still depending on part of the mouth to be the jaw. So let me just take away anything that could form the jaw from the mouth. Add that back to the head base. So if Bettina ever sees this, she'll be nice about it, but I am mangling up her work a little bit here. I feel like I should write a disclaimer. Mangled by Eric. So. What am I looking at? Dang it. Into large layers. Okay. So why did that not work? So I say remove this part. Paste it back. Move this down here. I'm missing something. Okay. Go under the mouth. Still good. Okay, so if I remove the mouth here, that's so weird. Why? Photoshop is acting really weird on me. So there's the mouth. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, so what? Oh. Oh, I think I get it. So, I got them reversed. So I merged the mouth down into the base earlier, and that was my screw up. That's okay, I can take it out. Okay, mouth gone. This other thing, which is not actually the mouth, merge. Paste the actual mouth. Move that over in this empty spot. Okay. So then this thing underneath, I want it to have like a kind of a big blank area where I can put any mouth on top of. So I'm going to fill that in. No, don't use that. It's this guy. This into the base. Let's double check. Mouth is fine. Cool. All right. So this. That's my mouth. There's my irises. There's my eyes. So each of these should go into like a separate part or separate texture. I'll make sure it's how I want it. Okay. I think at some point I messed up this line over here. I guess I'll make a quick effort to try and make that look not ugly. Let's see. Alright. So then merge that into the base, and then I'll have 3 shapes that I can use as the basis of my code. In general, or right at the moment? In general, I'm just making some starting part graphics that I know are going to roughly match what I want to do with the code. At the moment, I was just fixing up this line here that was sort of messed up. So I wanted it to look kind of not fucked up, you know. It wasn't extremely important to me, placeholder art and all that, but I figured, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take 30 seconds. Make it look not horrible. Okay. So those are my parts. I will save them as PNGs into the asset folder. Call it M. Alright, and just to make it like clearly I'll quit fucking with it. Let's call that good, because this is not final art. I just have to keep on reminding myself this is just some placeholder. And let's call this, let's see, I want to export, save for web, or layers to files. Layers to files, that might be more better. Okay, ping 24. That's the right location. And save it. Okay. So let's move that into assets. Okay. So back to Unity. I think it's time to set my session goal. I have been kind of waiting for it to crystallize in my head, but my goal for the session is I will get all parts of the face to render together from code. And if they look a little fucked up and I'm running low on time, I'll let it go. I won't make them perfect, but I'll just get them all shown at once from the game code. Okay, so I've got some code called face player. Right now it's just got one stupid texture. Let's do to remove this because it was working, but burn my bridges. And let's see, let's for now go base texture. Maybe I'll reuse the same rect, but I'll just kind of position it relative after I get going. So the order was base, and I could do next, I could do mouth, irises, and then eyes on top of the irises. Okay. That would be a good place to start. I've got this little utility that puts all the different assets I've got in here or game objects that I create during modeling into certain directories. So I wrote this organized scene thing. So it just kind of cleaned up all the clutter for me. Just put things in the directories I want. So I was just spending way too much time figuring out where things were. So, okay, those new textures, where are they at? They are in materials, faces. Okay, the base is gonna go, yeah, sure. Here, eyes. It occurs to me it might be a smart thing if I just get this working in the editor. I don't have to keep hitting play all the time. Let me just see what this does when I hit play. Actually, I feel like I should save it. Alright. Hit the play. See what it do. Okay. All the pieces are there. There's no concept of retaining the proportional size of the original image. The transparency was respected. That's a little camera positioning issue. All the parts are there, they're just in the wrong spots and wrongly proportioned. And I really hope this very slow thing is because I'm broadcasting and I've also got Photoshop up. Okay, there we go. Okay. Well, let me see if I can start getting this into shape. I still got time on the clock. I really don't want to lose this little cartridge thing, so I'm going to move that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just see if I can get this going in the editor view, because it'll be much easier to be troubleshooting it. How did I do that before? Was it just execute always? Was that what I did? Is that going to do it? I'll see in a moment. It's going to rebuild. Come on, rebuild for me. There you go. That was it. Okay. So the next thing is that on its own just saved an hour of my life. Okay. But I don't want this to just be like this forever. To do, delete after done developing. Okay. So let me think about this. Time for me to think out my design. Need XY offset. Need width, height based upon size of texture. Based, but not entirely decided by the size of the texture. Or I should say, yeah, anyways. Okay. XY offset is kind of the easy part after I get the width and height right. So is there, I'd be surprised if there wasn't, but is there a way to just query the texture to get its width and height? Yes. Width in pixels, height in pixels. Okay, nice. Thinking of it like a reusable kind of method here. So if I say draw texture at take texture, it would take X, Y. What is X and Y? What is X and Y? Okay, so then scale. So X can be screen position. It can be the delta from screen position X and Y in pixels, and Y can be the same. Scale will be an amount, a percentage to scale from the original size. So width and height will always be determined by the texture. Okay, I think I got it. So draw texture. I'm gonna kind of do static. Static is my favorite kind of method. I don't want to like do all this calculation each time this is called, so I need to pass in I think X and Y can just be screen X and screen Y for now, and I'll do a different calc inside. NZ, Drod person. What's your Caravel forum name? Rect equals NZ666. Very cool. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by. I think Drod players are gonna like this game when I get done with it, but they'll be like slightly miffed. It's not exactly like Drod in its sensibilities, but I think it'll still be enjoyable. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely enjoying it. Let's see. Let's draw the texture. That. So then I could do, let's see, GUI, can do draw texture at. So if you remember from Draw the facial animation. Oh yeah, no, it's a great tool. I wish I had it when I started, but yeah, but like the faces in Drawd that show up in the top left corner, this is like the much more advanced version of that code that I'm writing right now. So let's draw texture at, do base texture, and I think for now just have it be 0, 0, 1F. Start with that. Alright, see if that does anything. Anything at all. I think it'll do something. Let's go wait for it to rebuild. Okay, I got him to scale. That's what I'm after. Okay, so now the rest that's left is be scaling them as a group and the offsets. Scaling them as a group isn't too hard. Let me get them based upon the screen position. So if I go yeah, let's do it this way. Get rid of this X. Screen position. You're back. Kamikaze Toy. I will see you around, fella. Building this from code might be easier with Canvas. I don't know. It doesn't seem that hard to me to do it from code. I'm used to doing it from code. Call me old school. I'm not sure that the Canvas on its own would... I feel like I end up screwing around with the Canvas more than I want to, and I don't know, it just feels safer doing it on my own, I guess. But it's a good question. Okay, what's this? Float versus int? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. We can do float. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kamikaze Toy. I assume you're a sir. Oh, I think I already checked on that. Yeah. Let's see. X. There. Should just move everything just kind of towards the middle of the screen. Come on, it takes forever to just do a little build. Okay, so that sort of worked. Okay, let me do the offsetting. So we'll say I'll just do one thing at a time. I'll take the mouth first. Let's say I might as well, so I don't have to keep on rebuilding it and just make these there. Okay, so let's see if we do. X do 50, 250. Okay, so that's not bad. Let's put the mouth at 300, 300. So with that. And then we'll do the next one. Viruses. Okay. Okay. Save that. Okay, now I can fix the irises. That's pretty good. And last one, the eyes. Huh. So I'm guessing that the parts that Bettina put together were not all proportional to begin with, pixel-wise. Does make kind of an interesting change to the original face. So I'm not real worried about the weirdness of this. It's just a test of the code. But is that right though? I think I'm too quickly blaming the part graphics for being disproportionately sized. Might be something about my code. Yeah, because this texture, it's a little bit blurry around here, which shows kind of like an aliasing type of, not aliasing, but like interpolation for stretching the graphic. Okay, I think I know what it is. So if I look at this, it's going to say the texture size, right? It's probably packing them into like a certain texture size. You think it's under non-power of 2. Oh, okay, so I could say like none, perhaps. Let's see what it does. Let's see what happens. It's not a score texture, you're right about that. It's just a quick thing I threw in there. Yeah, apply that. And then apply that. None. None. Okay, so now like all the things, they look more like they're all at the same proportions. They're not positioned correctly anymore, but that's okay. Yeah, thanks for the tip. Actually, that helped me. So Isaac's. Let's go 210. 220. 225. And let's get the mouth. Put that back in a tweakable variable. So then, let's see. 20. And let's get pretty close to the original there. In some ways I kind of like how the face looks different with the small change I made to it. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. And I don't mind departing from the original graphic because it's almost better for me too, because the original artist is somebody else. I feel like if I'm going to mess up her work, I really want to mess it up. So okay, so that's it. I got those all going. Let me see if I can get my scaling to work a little bit better, or scaling as a group, all of the items. So if I have I'm just thinking about this. Pretty easy to scale width and height, but I want X and Y to kind of move along with it, and I want like these pixel these pixel relative coordinates to still be used, but the scaling to kind of make adjustments to them at the same time. I'm thinking of changing my coordinate system here. If I had X and Y kind of be centered, on 0. Maybe I'm overthinking it. What if I just do x times scale, y times scale, width times scale? What does that do? Okay, so right now it's at 100%. If I go to 0.5, what? No scale. I must not have passed the variable in. That would be it. Okay. Scale. Let me give it a better name. There's scale. Okay. Face scale. Alright, if this works, I am going to declare victory and end the session. I like to end right after I get something pretty much working how I want it to. It's a good time. But it might not work, and then I'll keep going, because I hate ending when it doesn't work. It worked. It worked. Yeah. Okay, so let me just because it's a special thing for me to have like a Drod player here. NZ. Let me just give you a proper demo. If you're in the mood for it. It's presumptuous of me to think you would actually really want to see it, but let me just kind of put the head where it's supposed to go. Two, three, 4. All right. 11.5. Okay, and I'll show you the actual game. Hit play. And I'm sorry, I'm like assuming you it's a good decision for you to stay and watch this instead of going to bed. If it's not, I understand. But sharing the victory with you if you want to be a part of it. So hitting the play button. Alright, so this head is going to go floating off all over the place. But okay, picture, if you will, picture the game Drod, and when characters talk, instead of there being like a special head area off to, you know, the off screen or off game, they'll just kind of float nearby the character while that character is talking. So there's going to be all kinds of refinements to that head, but I kind of like it already. Just as far as the idea of it just popping up over the screen. Oh, thank you. And the head won't be visible all the time. It's just when a character talks. This is the very first level of the game, and the god character is going through a little bit of exposition here, and waiting for that exposition to finish, which almost will, and then I can go east. So unlike Drod, I decided I wanted the scripting inside of the levels to be able to be tied to non-game events like audio completing, which makes it much less deterministic, but it's okay. Okay, so here's the thing you can do in this game you can't do in Drod, which is called flinging. You hold down the shift key, and those seek rays go up, and they show you, like, you know, what directions are available, and you push in the direction you want to go, and you just instantly go, like, all the way in that direction. Okay. And then there is like one part up ahead that is really going to be very Drod-like. Okay, so you see that guy down there. Thank you. Yeah, so this guy, he's like kind of like a classic Drod enemy. So this god character is wanting you to push Billy. Okay. So I'll push him. That puts him in a fearful state. He'll run away from you. But it's like one step at a time, just kind of like that same turn-based Drod sensibility. And then there's a little bit of a challenge to sort of herd him into the right place where you can kill him, basically. Just about done with this. I want to let you go to bed. Thanks for staying up and letting me talk your ear off. And that's it. And then this door opens up and lets you through, and you go float off. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too, but anyways, quick demo. Thanks for checking it out. I think you and me might both fade away here. You to bed, me off the stream. Yeah, hey, thanks for coming by. And for helping me. Alright, Anzi. Have a good night. Stopping the stream. Stopping it right about